love that intro.
Well, hello everybody, welcome back to Only Leeds Bros for your Swansea City match build-up. Feels like an age, but we're back to the proper routine. We have Matty joining from Imagine Up in Leeds with what looks like a Sheffield Wednesday jersey, but it's not. Matty, what team is it?
Kerala Blasters, an Indian Premier League team.
I love it. How are you keeping anyway, Matty? All good? It's been a while, isn't it?
Yeah, mate, honestly, weather's been atrocious today, though, so it's been a bit of a wipeout day. But,
Got a good bit of snow in Leeds, didn't he? I seen.
It came down loads this morning, but only for about a couple of hours, and then it just absolutely bounced it down. So it didn't stay down too long. Yeah, it didn't stay too long, but it was mad.
Yeah, we just got rain, just complete rain last night. As I was saying, I was at my Christmas party last night, so I'm a little bit worse for wear today, but we'll troop her on. But coming home last night from the Christmas party, thank God Amy collected me, but on the way home I remember just being absolutely torrential. So yeah, not been good. And we have Dillo as well, the brother from another mother. What's happening, Dillo? How are you keeping?
Oh, good, lads. Buzzing to be back. Can't wait for 3 o'clock tomorrow. Leeds are going to get the win. Nice, fabulous Sunday. Didn't have to wash it down. Fresh, what more can you want, lads? Let's be honest. It's going to happen. We're going up. We're back. And that's it.
Well, all the results today went for us, didn't they? Like, Sunderland slipped up. Sheffield United slipped up and Burnley got the win as well. But win tomorrow puts us top of the tree, lads. It could be the start of it then to push on now, isn't it? So yeah, delighted. So hopefully Leeds can get the business. I don't think it's going to be an easy game because looking at Swansea, they don't score many, they don't concede many. If they kind of do win or lose a game, it's only by the odd goal. So I think they've only scored 11 and conceded 10 or something like that. So something absolutely crazy. So won't be an easy one tomorrow, I don't think. And we'll touch on obviously Daniel Farke's press conference. Dillo, do you want to get into that? Any kind of main topics to take from that?
Yeah, no new injuries with players that are on international duty. So that's kind of a finger crossed type of thing. We're all delighted with that. Isaac Smith went for a hernia operation. He'll be out roughly for about 2 weeks. Max Warburg played a full 90. Don't know if that's surprising to anyone. I just can't believe it. Can't play 10 minutes for Leeds, but he can play full 90 for Austria. However, moving on. Ramazani, parts of team training he's been in. He'll be shorter appearances over the next 3 games, but he will be included. No new update on Ampa and Gruev. So that's where we are when it comes to Fark's presser. Not going into all the other stuff that he was on about because it just doesn't really do anything for me,
The Isaac Smith one for me is a bit of a tough one because obviously with Firpo being out now, suspended, now Boyram's going to have to play a couple of games and it could have been a chance for Smith to kind of get in and actually start the game. So yeah, I was a little bit disappointed to hear that. Look, obviously it's a hernia and it's one of them things that need to happen, but it just came at a bad time for him. I could have seen him if Boyram played tomorrow, maybe Wednesday night, then he might have got a start, and I would have liked to see him, but unfortunately not. It's kind of probably, for me, it's a little bit of a worry now if Boyram has to play again midweek. We kind of know his track record, and even if he doesn't get injured, I just wonder is his body going to recover in time. So yeah, a bit of a dodgy one, that one, isn't it? What do you think, Mike?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I'm not too sure, where Farke sees Schmidt's position long term, but like you say, we're playing Sunday and Wednesday, and Biden being the only option now with Ober out. Schmidt, like you say, timing's everything sometimes in life, in football, and timing's bad for him, with this little hernia, because like you say, he'll miss both games, and that could have been a chance for him to maybe get 90 minutes under his belt potentially. And like you say, I think you're right with that Wednesday game. I think he could have done a job there at left back. Whether that's his position going forward, I don't know. But like I say, he's unfortunate he's had to get that, that cleaned up, and it gives Biden a chance to play, 2 full games. But as we know, is he up to it? But I'll be honest with you, mate, his body's held up quite well at Leeds. He hasn't had anything major. He's had a couple of niggles, but because he's not a starter every week, his body's held up all right for the role he's played. I've been quite surprised about his minutes when he has played, to be honest.
He does. He seems to be really well looked after, doesn't he, at Leeds? Since he kind of came to Leeds, they've definitely put him on a training program that kind of seems to get him recovered in time. And yeah, that's kind of the only concern for me. Look, Boyram will come in and do his usual tomorrow. Mr. Consistent, he'll come in, he'll give us a 7, 8 out of 10 performance tomorrow. It will just be Wednesday night whether his body is going to recover enough in time to kind of to play that game, and then if not, then who's the one to kind of come in and cover there. So yeah, a little bit disappointed because I would have liked to kind of see Smith come in there. Now we're not too sure if Farke does see him as a fullback, but like what you said, Matty, it could have been an opportunity to kind of go in there and do a job. And it looks like Ramazani isn't going to be available. He didn't really give it away too much. He did say he was kind of back in training more so midweek. Then he might be back again. I was kind of disappointed. I would have loved to see Ramazani back. Kind of would have gave us a little bit of a boost, but Yeah, with few coming back, Ampadu, he said, is kind of on schedule as well to come back in early December. So yeah, hopefully we get Ampadu back soon enough as well. So yeah, at least I was kind of worried that we might have got one
There's
or two injuries
positives.
back, especially the Welsh lads. And yeah, it was good to hear that them they came out unscathed.
Just kind of touchy with Rodon and Aronson, wasn't it, really? Because Aronson had some sort of illness, and then Rodon, obviously, with the head clash that he had. So, look, it's positives. We'll take them. We're all smiles, the whole lot. Everyone's happy. Let's keep
And
it that way.
also, Joseph, with Spanish under 21s again, having a good stint with them, it breeds confidence, whether he starts or not. You want all these lads, even though you don't really want them to go away and play these international games, but when they do, when they are gone, you want them to, impact that side and do well and breed confidence. And Joseph's had a really good international stint this season, hasn't he, going forward? So that's only good for Leeds United.
And Solomon, I'm not too sure, did see that he played for Israel last week, and again I was kind of worried he'd never really touched on him, so it seems like he's after coming out unscathed as well, which
good.
Yeah, can only be a bonus that he's have to get minutes under his belt as well. But yeah, tomorrow what are you thinking starting lineup? Because do you think it's going to be a bit of a shake up tomorrow? Obviously left back we probably know Boyram's going to go in there. The usual kind of Tanaka and Rotwell will be going Pirro and Joseph again. That's probably the main
Joseph.
Yeah.
I think Pirro.
Definitely.
Yeah.
No, yeah. I think Joseph. I think we need to control the ball a lot tomorrow, because they can, they tidy up at the back nice and well. As you said, like, the wins or draws they've only been not by many. They've won 1-0 or they've lost 1-0 or whatever. But I think that we need someone running at them, and Pirro just doesn't do that. I think Joseph will be the man tomorrow, if I'm being honest with you. And then bring Pirro on towards the back end of the half. We get a scruffy goal and start him getting on
I think
Wednesday.
one goal wins it tomorrow, lads. Doesn't it? I'll be more inclined to go with Pirro tomorrow, because I just think one chance, one goal.
Yeah,
I think
exactly.
I think like we're solid at the back. So are they. They don't really score much. So in theory and on paper, it looks like one goal wins it. So for me tomorrow, I'd go with Pirro, and it's more so because he's playing against his former side as well. The usual kind of point to prove. How many times have we seen former players go back to their old team and score goals as well? So hopefully, Pirro has that little bit between his teeth, and I just think one goal wins it tomorrow, and I think Pirro could be the man to start. I don't disagree. I can see where Dylan's coming from with it, but I just think tomorrow, I think he'll probably go with Pirro just being the top goal scorer on that, and Joseph being away.
Considering it's his old club, I'm just
100%.
kind of wary though that he hasn't been giving us that. So maybe this will give him the fire in the belly, as they would say, to go on and really make an impact against Swansea.
Now, like how I feel. I always feel I go against the grain in terms of, I think Pirro is his best striker currently on form. He's his best finisher, probably one of the best finishers in the league. But my take on it is Joseph should start. Pirro comes off the bench, because that formula works, and it's worked the best this season, regardless if Pirro's a better player or whatever. I think that works. But in this game, I'm going to go against that, because, like you said, Darren, I don't think one goal technically, is definitely going to win it. I think we're going to win 2-0, which I know we'll get on later. But I think with how many chances they give up, you are right in terms of, if we only have Pirro on for 20 minutes, 25 minutes, and it takes him best part of that to get into the game as a sub, as we know, you want him on the pitch for maybe 70 minutes, because if there's only two big chances, you need, at least one of them falling.
At least one to fall to Pirro, yeah.
You do, because if it falls to Joseph, I hate to say it, but he isn't as inevitable as Pirro. And then, like you rightly say, when you add in the story behind it, ex-Swansea, it's written that he gets a goal tomorrow, and everyone will be expecting it in that stadium. So for me, I would go against what I'd normally say, and I think Pirro's the man for this 100%. And I feel like all the qualities he lacks, when people think he's a bit static, he don't do. I think you'll see a very high level of performance from him tomorrow because of who he's playing. I think he'll do a lot more running. He'll do a lot more of the hard yards and stuff that you don't tend to see him do. I think we'll get a good performance out of Pirro, and I expect him to get both goals.
Yeah, I'm expecting a good one out of him tomorrow as well. Dilla, what are you thinking? You were obviously saying with Joseph, can you kind of see where myself and Matty coming from with Pirro, or would you still say?
Definitely. We were going because of it's his ex-club, and I get that. I'm just putting it down to Joseph doing so well on international, as Matty said, and then all things considered, is the way that they shape up at the back and the way that they are playing. And as you said, it's going to be a scrappy 1-0 win, and I feel like if Joseph starts, I think it could be more than that. I can't see it being a 1-0. Yeah, definitely. He'll break down the defences a bit more than what Pirlo will. But then at the same time, it's like a magic wand. Who's to say that Pirlo doesn't come out and completely change everything? Rewrites history against them. So
There's going to be a good bit of rotation, though. Again, it's coming up 3 games in 7 days, so there's going to be a bit of rotation. I can even see for Wednesday as well, lads. Can you agree? I might even see a Gilavogi coming in midweek. Would you just kind of disagree with that? I know Farker kind of likes to unchange the side, but I just think now right up till March is the next international break. The games are going to come thick and fast with 3 games straight away now, as I said, in a week. It's a lot on the players, isn't it? And I think he might just shake it up again for Wednesday, so... Yeah, could you kind of see him taking a Tanaka and a Rotwell out then on Wednesday? Like the 2 of them for me definitely start tomorrow 100%. But Gilavogi's starting to kind of prove a little bit, isn't he? He's kind of starting to just knock on that door a little bit to kind of get a start. I wouldn't be surprised to see him start midweek with you.
No, I feel like he needs to trust his bench more, trust his squad more. We know last season he didn't trust it at all, and it proved. You know, the midpoints in season where you're thinking, right, he's going to get a goal now, and it just never happened. And it would obviously he just didn't trust them. This season, when you look at the quality and the depth, even when we've got injuries, there's players there who rightly will expect to get some game time. I mean, I don't see a Jadon Anthony scenario really where you've got a player on there who's good enough for that division as he would have been last season in terms of what he's done in past and not getting the minutes. I mean, you look at Pirlo and Joseph. We always talk about different horses for courses and all that, but with them two, we aren't bothered who they really pick. Whether we see Joseph tomorrow or Pirlo, we're not bothered. They can both do a good job. So for me, when you've got 2 strikers like that, they should be getting rotated in a game in a week that's got 3 games. You Gilavogi, I don't think he'll do that. I think he'll beast Rothwell and Tanaka for as long as he can. But I would play Gilavogi on Wednesday. I feel like he needs to freshen it up. I mean, I've touched on it a few times. I've seen Rothwell the last 2 home games holding his hamstring. No one's really picked up on it. He ain't pulled it. But there's definitely tightness there as he's approaching 90th minute. Why can't we, when you've got someone as comfortable as Gilavogi, you can do all that side, all that dirty stuff you want someone in the middle of the park to do. He's rangy, he can drive forward with ball, we've seen it, and he's also a threat from set pieces. So I don't disagree at all. I don't feel like Farker really changes much. We saw him do it at Stoke last year, and then he reverted back and never did it again really for the rest of the season. Yeah. And I don't tend to feel he drops his starters and rotates unless there's injuries. And since Stoke last season, we haven't seen it, Darren. So I aren't too sure, but this is where he earns his money. This is where he proves he's good enough for this job, and we'll see.
Yeah,
I have to agree with Matty there.
Yeah, go ahead, sorry. No, go on, you go.
I have to agree with Matty. He's spot on there. Like you said it yourself there, Darren. Like the next international break is in March. These games are going to come really, really fast, and it's going to
especially now Christmas, lads. Not too far away from Christmas as well. There's a lot of games coming, so I wouldn't mind. I'm not saying wholesale changes for Wednesday, but like that, maybe just 1 or 2. Bring the Gilavogi in, just see how he gets on. So yeah, it would be just like little changes like that. You know what I mean? That would kind of take people out of foreign line. Maybe Wednesday night is a night to maybe try Solomon in the 10, try Nanto in the 10. Just kind of freshen it up that way. We'll obviously get on to who we think is going to start in the wings tomorrow, but. Yeah, I just think freshen it up just a little bit, just 1 or 2, not wholesale.
Going back to what I said though, like with the games coming thick and fast, like it's really going to determine where we are in the league, come May. But like definitely needs to be freshened up, as Matty said there. The subs aren't getting, the credit that they deserve, like to come on and prove themselves. Or the likes of Gilavogi or Schmidt or even Crew, these lads need to start getting rotated a bit more. Legs are going to get tired very fast, and then you said it yourself, the odd strike is going to get injured. He always kind of goes kind of mid-season. It's possibly the same with Nanto. Ramsarni's already at the roll on his ankle. And who's to say that Pirlo and Joseph don't as well? So he has to put a bit more trust into his subs.
It does.
And then hopefully come after Christmas we're top of that spot and bring in a few signings as well, just to freshen things up. You
don't just want lads. You don't just want your bench, players always on the bench, and then when an injury happens, you're expecting them then to play every week. You need that, and sometimes you need them to be getting more than 20 minutes. We sort of know you're not going to get brought on until 65, 70 usually, and then you're struggling to get into the game. For me, these players need rotating in weeks where there's 3 games for that reason, because like Dilo said, there'll be injuries to other key personnel, and what you don't want is people coming in cold, expected to play 6 weeks because so-and-so's out, you know what I mean? And then they haven't played any more than 20 minutes all season. He needs to rotate his squad. It's good enough. None of us are going to go to a game and when he starts Gilavogi, I don't think, instead of Rothwell, and he has a poor game and kick off and moan that he's made wrong choice. Some people will, but he's got to trust his squad. That's what it's there for.
Yeah. that's it. You have to trust him, and it's something that I don't think he done last year a lot. Especially you touched on a little bit with Jaden Anthony, and you don't want him to kind of like that, getting long minutes and then get the injuries like what we have to Ampadu and Grew Evan. You're kind of trusting these two lads to come in and do it. And again, go back to unbelievable what Rotwell and Tanaka have done. But you can't expect that from every player. So I would like to see like that, just a little bit of rotation. Not saying every single game, but especially Wednesday night is the prime example. Do like just freshen it up even in the 10. Like let's see, like Aronson was away in international duty as well. You know, a lot of travelling on his legs, and then 3 games in 7 days as well. You know, he might just think about freshening that up again. For me, probably tomorrow would be Nanto on the left, James on the right, and Aronson in the 10. Would you agree with that? Or because obviously Ramazani still out. If Ramazani was back in, probably a little bit harsh, but would he have put him back in straight away? I don't think so. But he's talking about midweek again. Will he take time to kind of come back from it? It seems like it was a fairly bad ankle injury. I don't think he's going to come straight back into the fold. But yeah, I think tomorrow with Dan James, like his pace, I think it could be lethal tomorrow, especially on that right hand side. He can't really play left, can he? And then again, Nanto's performances off the left haven't been great. Probably less than what we expected. We kind of touched on it. We thought it was his best position, but hasn't really happened out on the left for Nanto, has it?
Yeah, mate, no, which has been a shock for everyone, hasn't it? You know, like you say, his Premier League season, he was phenomenal on that side, and I assume that would be his side. And then obviously Somerville breaking out last year in that position, he had that right hand side, but he's never looked as good as he did in the Premier League for me. He hasn't found that consistency. And I did think when he moved over to the left with Ramazani being out, we were going to see it, and we haven't. So yeah, I think central is maybe his best position. We haven't really seen it because Aronson stepped up. I think if Aronson wouldn't have had the start to the season, I think we'd have already had Nanto in the 10. But rightly so, they've kept it as they are. I think Solomon will start tomorrow, mate, and I think Nanto will be all right. Yeah, I do, mate. I feel like with Ramazani, coming back round corner, Solomon's been built.
Is that something you want to see? Do you want to see Solomon start?
No, I don't, mate. No, I want to see Dan James should start every game for me. When Ramazani is out, especially Dan James is phenomenal. So it would be not what left for me and Ramazani. And James not right, but I feel like he starts. Does Solomon? I feel like he starts the next 2. If I'm honest, mate, I do.
I think it'd be perfect if Ramazani could start. Obviously, you can't. But I'm just saying, like if he was, same thing what Matty said there. Dan James definitely starts with me. But I'd love to see Nanto in the 10 to give Brandon Aronson a bit of a rest as well. Like you know, he hasn't done anything wrong.
He gets beasted all the time. Under Jesse, he played every minute of every game, pretty much, did Aronson. Why can't he come out? He never gets subbed off, really. It's very rare he comes off.
Very rare,
Very rare. It's a lot of minutes he's got to play, you know.
I just want to, like, it's not like we're dissing him. It's not like he hasn't been performing well. He's been playing unbelievable. It's just, I get where you're coming from. It's just
trying to burn him out. It's too much, isn't it? Like, especially with his international and his travelling as well. It's too much. I'd love to see Nanto on the 10, James on the right, and Ramazani on the left. I think that 3 is just unbelievable. Pace, power, skill, quality, absolutely everything. I'd love to see that. If Ramazani, I think Danny touched on it there, then he's out for Wednesday as well. There's obviously remains to be seen. Parker's not too sure when he is kind of back, but he is back in training. Yeah, but I think when Ramazani comes in, look, I'd love to see that line up. Them 2 boys on the wing with that pace and quality, and then Nanto through the middle then with his quality. It's for me that would be my ideal. But again, it's a little bit harsh on Aronson.
Not with Ramazani, you want them to as close to each other as you can as well, because you've seen that synergy they've got with each other. You know, without having to come across like having him in that 10 with Ramazani just at left of him, I think it'd be a perfect blend, lads. Perfect.
And then if you Pirro front, then if you just give the service then to Pirro, then it's just that's if it clicks. It's all ifs and buts. Anything. Anyone else going to say, or any kind of topic they want to touch on?
We're creating a FIFA team here. By the looks.
Do you lads think Farke knows his best 11 yet? Do you think he does, or you think there's a couple of positions up for? I think that keeper and defence is set, obviously. The 2 DMs, depending on who's available, we don't know. That'll be interesting, as we say, when Ampadu's back. But I feel like that front 4. I still not sure if he knows his best. What do you think?
Yeah, like you said, the back line is absolutely solid. We touched on it. That Rodon was at the start of the season was a little bit not ropey, but just not as the high standard that he set for us last season. And it was obviously kind of a bit of a kick because we're saying he was on loan for us last season, was unbelievable. Now we've signed him and he didn't start off too great, but definitely that pair of Strike and Rodon, I think it's after coming into the round. The 2 of them are just solid for me. We touched on it as well with Mick in his interview, the 6 years of ups and downs, and he was saying for him that Strike has been the player of the season, and I can't look past that. I think Strike has been absolutely phenomenal for us. He's unbelievable, and Rodon has really pushed on as well. So that for me, that back line, especially that centre back pairing, is absolutely solid. We haven't let any shots in us, like Barrett, like I think what was it, Mike? I think it was 3 and 6 or something like that. something ridiculous like that, and that's unbelievable. And I don't even think tomorrow with Fairbairn, obviously we want to see Fairbairn because he gives us that bit going forward, but I just think Bayern at the back again, we're just not going to see many chances against Swansea. So yeah, I think that the back line again, it picks for itself. Rotwell and Tanaka, you were kind of saying, is now his best starting 11? I think probably at the start of the season he probably did in his head, but I think how well Rotwell and Tanaka has played, it's probably thrown a spanner in the works. So I think we seen at the start of the season that it was Ampadu and Gruev, and I think in his head that was his centre back or his centre midfield pairing. But now these two boys have came in, they've really thrown the spanner in the works, which is it's great to see. Like there's like 4 midfielders that it's a toss up, and if any of them started, you wouldn't be really disgruntled. And the same thing with Gilavogi. Look what we said on Wednesday. So you've 5 really, really good midfielders in there, which is it's unbelievable to think about the options that we do have in centre of the park. But yeah, I don't think he knows the starting 11, and especially when it comes down to the striker, we've seen him chopping it and changing it as well. The striker position as well, I don't feel rightfully, because I don't think either of them have kind of grabbed the jersey and said, I'm the starting striker. So yeah, I think he probably at the start of the season knew his kind of start 11. It definitely seemed to be Joseph, but Pirro banging in the goals has changed it up as well. So yeah, we definitely haven't had a set in 11, but we need to get to that. We need to get to that stage where we kind of know who our starting 11 is, but like that, still have these players coming off the bench.
Going back to Rotwell and Tanaka, if Gruev and Ampadu, I think we did speak about it before, who would you start? Or who would you drop? Better yet.
I think Rotwell comes out.
Yeah, for Ampadu.
It's harsh. Very, very harsh, yeah, for Ampadu. When Ampadu gets back up to speed, it is very, very harsh. But I do see it
coming back in. Change, wouldn't you, Darren? You'd put your house on that change, wouldn't you, eventually? Yeah. That will be I don't want that. I don't think he should even get back inside as it is.
Yeah.
But he will come back in for Rothwell.
He has to work for lads. Just because he's captain, like I don't want to see him just, be given the luxury that he comes back in, his fourth came back and gets 20 minutes and then he starts the next game. I mean, I really want him to kind of work. I think that'll be very harsh on Rotwell. And
you want to see the performances kind of steady there. Now he is putting something. I want to see that not just coming on.
He's forcing all of our hands and all of our minds as fans, where you see him coming back and he's breaking up play and he's spreading the ball down back to the usual Ampadu. Yeah. And we kind of say, well, yeah, maybe he does have to come back in, and then when he does, that we all don't have any grumbles about it. But it will be very harsh on Rotwell, and I think we kind of touched on it. Mikey, wasn't there a guy that asked, would there be a chance of maybe playing like a back three with Ampadu kind of in the middle of Strike and Rodon? Could you see that happening? Yeah, maybe, or a midfield 3, a 4-3-3. Possibly. I think that for me, that's something that I'd love to see. But again, it's vital then with your striker. Then, like we've kind of talked about Firmino, Salah, and the Mane. Like that striker then really comes very important in the 4-3-3. For me, I would love to see that, because you can imagine Ampadu is sitting Rotwell and Tanaka, let them off the hook and let them go, because I do think their natural game is to push forward and progress with the ball. I think Tanaka would be unbelievable. But it's a vital then that the striker does his job as well. For me, that's what I'd like to see.
I think it would be great to see Ampadu drop, as you said, into his normal position, just kind of sitting in front of the defenders. But it'd kind of take the shackles off Tanaka, wouldn't it, to give him that bit of free up, because he's doing so well.
Let the two go. We don't need two. Mike said it many times as well, that we don't need two defending midfielders. Ampadu was perfectly fine, and once you've rode on and striking there behind him, that's a solid spine of the team. And if you just let the two of them go playing, and either side of them you've James, Ramazani, Nanto, whoever may be, Solomon, either side of them. But the vital thing is that striker position. I think probably would suit Joseph a little bit more. Might be harsh on Pirro, but Pirro's the goal scorer. But yeah, I don't know what you think on that. I'd like to see the 4-3-3.
I'm not being funny, lads, but if you take Kamara out of that side last year and put in a Rothwell or put in a Tanaka, we'd probably get promoted.
Yeah.
That's how good these two are. If you swap Kamara out for either one of those, third and fourth choice centre mid players at the start of the season, we're probably 5 points better off and get promoted. Genuinely, I think these two are that good. And like you say, you don't need two sitters. Maybe, when we get to Prem, and you're probably not expecting much most weeks, especially against the top half sides. You might sit in tight and put 2 DMs in there. When you're going for promotion, you're the best side in the league. You don't need. It's like when England used to play with 2 sitting. You just, what are you doing? Let the players play.
And you look what Declan Rice is doing now for Arsenal. He's that like kind of progressive ball carrier, great with it. Under Southgate, when he was playing Phillips and Rice in there, and even us as Irish, and I was thinking about it, like, how isn't he letting Rice off the leash? Because you could see that he was naturally getting forward. I know Phillips used to play that advanced position, but under Bielsa he was playing that sitting midfielder perfect. He was more than capable of doing that on his own, and he should have let him go. And I think that's kind of similar here, similar sort of situation where I understand now what Ampadu out, he probably wants to put the reins on both Rotwell and Tanaka to not kind of push them on too much, but I'd love to see him in that defensive midfield role and let the other two go. Would just be unbelievable. I think we've touched on it so many times. I think Tanaka further forward in and around that box, I think would be unbelievable. Obviously, we've yet to kind of see him have any shots, but I just think his vision, his passing, his calmness around the box is quality. And then
that's the thing, you need to see.
Rotwell's tenacity as well.
We all want Rothwell to stay in, really, because he's playing so well. But there's a little part of you that thinks if Rothwell goes out, Ampadu comes in, then we get to see Tanaka, which is exciting to see how well he does forward. But I do think, it keeps Ampadu out the side, lets him play minutes coming off the bench, while ever Rothwell and Tanaka's not doing no wrong and they're playing as well as they are. You're only going to be annoying Ampadu potentially, right? But you bring him straight back in, it sends out the wrong message to the dressing room. Decisions like that, you can lose the players. I'm not saying that's a bit drastic for us in this situation.
No, you're right. I think you're right. I think you're on the head with that.
And also, if Ampadu comes back in and we get a couple of poor performances, slow laboured football like we've had it past, the fact then he's got 37,000 people annoyed. So really, the easiest thing to do really is just say to Ampadu, you bide your time. And let's be fair, if he sits on bench for 6 games, he's probably going to be an injury, and that's how he gets in anyway. So for me, the best thing to do for Farke is keep Ampadu on bench. Yeah, but I don't think he will. That's where I am on it.
Yeah, you're the same with me, mate. I want him to work his way back inside. I want to get to a level where us as fans are kind of saying, right, maybe it is time to bring Ampadu in. His level of performance coming off the bench has been tops, so maybe it is time to come back in. And you probably will see it. Like again, you might see a midweek run of games like that with 3 games in 7 days again, where you'd see Rotwell and Tanaka start on a Saturday, and then midweek you might change it up, then take the Rotwell out, and Ampadu could have an unbelievable performance. You say, right, maybe Ampadu could come back into the team, but I do think it'd be very harsh on Rotwell, and if we do went to 4-3-3, it'd be very harsh then on Aronson then to come out. But I do think we've all kind of touched on it. Then it feels like it's inevitable that Aronson will come out somewhere along the line, whether we change up formation or whether Solomon starts coming into his own in the 10 position, or I feel like it's inevitable that he does come out. Maybe we do something in January. I know there's kind of been thoughts of Phil Billing coming in and James McAtee now as well. So obviously it's all rumours. We don't know what's going to happen. I know you were saying, Mike, you don't think much is going to happen there, but it's going to be interesting when Ampadu does come back. I do think we have to have him in our side at the end of the day. He is our captain. I do think he gives us that kind of leadership, but it's where do you squeeze them in, and I just think anyone then to drop out that side to kind of accommodate Ampadu is
not necessarily though to drop people. Like if Ampadu is uninjured and he is playing well, like the way you said, there's loads of games coming here, and it's a team game all in there. So if the starting 11, like you're saying there, does he know a starting 11? He shouldn't really know a starting 11, considering he's had to bring Gilavogi in. That's the first time I said his name, by the way. Just throwing that out there.
He's practicing off the international break.
It was in
standing in the mirror. Gilavogi.
But as you said there, at the weekend, Rotwell and Tanaka there, and they play a phenomenal game. But then all of a sudden, Wednesday comes around, Charles Ampadu into the mix. Same with Nanto, if he played in the 10, give Brenton Aronson the break. Like, Byron coming on. It's nice to see, lads. I don't want to see the same starting 11 week in, week out. You know what I mean? Don't get me wrong. Like, if
you can't have that in this division, lads. Over 46 games, you need the squad. But more than that, like, I think across any football, even juvenile level, you need a squad. If you're going to win it and do well, you need a squad of players behind it. But especially in the Championship, like 46 game season, and as Farke touched on as well, FA Cup games are going to come still as well. We know that he doesn't brush the cups under the carpet like the way Bielsa did. He definitely goes from, he does put out a strong side in the cup games. We've definitely seen that since he came in. So I do think he will pull out strong side in the FA Cup as well, and that's where to change it around and experiment, whether he's going to go 4-3-3, try Nanto in the 10, Solomon in the 10, try Joseph and Pirro up front together, like stuff like that. I think he should be using them games for. So it's going to be interesting, I think, over the next couple of weeks. I do think from now, and it's probably a little bit mad saying, but I do think Leeds do win tomorrow, and then I probably see us being front and centre for the rest of the season. The next 3, I see us picking up 3 points in the next over the next 3 games, picking up 9 points altogether. And I just see us pushing on now. We've seen Sunderland slip up a little bit. Sheffield United has slipped up as well. But I don't know what your thoughts on it now. But I think everything kind of seems to be coming together now, and it's very Farke-esque that it started off slow again, and it kind of seems to be like that. Even with his Norwich teams, he does start off slow, and then when it kind of hits this kind of Christmas, January period, they really seem to turn down.
This is where it's crucial. From now, as you said, till the next international break, we should be top and comfortably at top. I think we can all agree with that, though, that we need to be comfortable.
We don't like seeing people injured from other sides, but that Arblaster's out for the season from Sheffield United as well. Arblaster's out for the season. Their captain, Sheffield United's captain, out for the season. Their starting centre mid, outstanding player, gone for the season. That's massive. They've got points.
Well, they would have said the same, Matty, to us. They would have been rubbing their hands when they seen Ampadu and Grove out there. Our starting centre pairing at the start of the season, every other team in this division and fan base would have been looking down like Leeds are in trouble here. We thought as fans as well, we were like, we're in trouble. And even Mick touched on it as well. He was saying if we could be even 3 or 4 points, off even the playoff positions at coming into January, that we might be able to do something then at the turn of the year and get a few bodies in. But like it's unbelievable. I think we're really underestimating, and we don't talk about enough how good these two lads have done, because I remember being so down about it when Ampadu and Gruev, especially when Gruev got injured, because I was like, here we go, this is going to completely derail our season, and it hasn't. So credit's due to them two boys. If we do go up this year, to me, the two of them are a massive hand and deserve massive praise for what they've done, both of them.
I mean, you think, mate, when you lose them both, you might get lucky where, one of the two that are coming in are decent. But to get them both be as good as they are, you'd have expected, wouldn't you? Maybe, you might have a centre mid on bench who can come in and do a good job and is a decent player. But then you'd expect a kid, you'd expect Charlie Crew. And if he'd have been playing these last 8 games, there's no saying what would have been like. He's a talented player, but there's no saying he could have done what Tanaka and Rothwell's done. I would assume he wouldn't have been able to. So we're fortunate that we had, we got the recruitment right. I don't think we signed a bad player last season.
No,
Only one we've not really seen is Schmidt, but I think we've all seen in the little few minutes he's had is a talent. I think 2 years ago, when we got relegated, we made a few. Like, I didn't really rate Kamara. We made a few. This season, I kind of feel like everybody we've signed has been a good signing. Yeah, Bogle took a little while to get into it, but for me, recruitment's been spot on. And when Leeds don't really dip into the market, we know in January we'll see what they do. We tend to do the opposite of what fans want. When we went and got Gilavogi, a free transfer, we don't do things like that. That ain't Leeds. That was a brilliant bit of business, that. So, and all that does is strengthen it more. And usually Leeds would look at it, won't they, and go, yeah, but when them two come back, we've got 5 of them, we've got too many.
Yeah, and if he this thing, he can't fill in there. He can do a job in there, and yeah.
Worry about that later. Worry about having 5 fit centre midfielders all unhappy. Well, worry about that. What a position that'll be in February or March if Gruev's back. Lovely. We'll worry about it then. But right now,
I'd love to see it, but lads, I just think Leeds has looked at it.
It never happens.
It's horrible to say, but you probably see Ampadu coming back from injury, and then you see one of the boys picking up an injury. And we don't want to see it, but it's just typical. I think in a world where you have all 5 of them very fit, I can't see it. It's just, I don't know what it is. Maybe what Dylan says it is like the Leedsy thing, but I just think it'd be very un-Leeds like if we did have all 5 of them fit and pushing. And then again, do you have? Well, you're not going to have Tanaka on the bench, but do you have Gruev or Rothwell and Gilavogi on the bench? Look, we're not really sure what way it is with Gruev at the moment. I think we just estimate 5 to 9 months. He might get back in towards the end, might be gone for the whole lot. We don't really know, but yeah, it's like what you said, mate. To have 5 of them fit and available would be unbelievable.
Scandalous.
I just wanted to be away there when we come onto this and we go, what do you think the lineup was going to be? Because out of 3 of us now, at least one of us is going to get that starting lineup right tomorrow. Can we all agree with that?
Yeah.
At least when like Ampadu back Gruev, Gilavogi's getting.
But the thing is, Dylan, you couldn't say for 100% you're thinking what you want. Like you'd say, right, I'd like to see this and I want to see that. But you don't actually fully believe that that's the team. Where I think under Bielsa we knew, like we didn't even have to look at the team. We knew exactly who was going to start. And once he told us they were fit, well, he used to tell us on the Thursday the starting lineup. But you kind of knew the team almost picked itself. And I think we're in the position now. Even in some cases last year, we kind of knew the team. We knew who was starting, especially around that period when Bamford came back in. The team again almost picked itself. But it's like nothing surprised you. It's like what Mikey said. It's like the back line picks itself. Melier always picks himself. Tanaka and Rowell. But by them front 4 players, you're not really saying, like, if Solomon comes in tomorrow, you're not really going, what's he doing there? Or James comes in, what's he doing there? Like, I think it could be anyone. Like, and like that, one of us might all get it wrong. It's one of them. But what a luxury it is to have, lads, to have these players. And I don't think if either one of them come out, they don't weaken the side. Do you know what I mean? Even if you're not going to start Dan James tomorrow, then we'll have him coming on half an hour to go running at their back line with his pace. Again, it's unbelievable. Beneficial for him to start, but again, having coming off the bench is quality as well. And vice versa, if he starts, then you've the quality of Solomon coming on. So it's just, the luxuries that we have.
We're spoiled.
I'll tell you what, guys, we've focused a lot on Sunderland, rightly so. New manager comes in, young team. They'll be proud of where they are. No one expected it. We all, fearful a little bit of Sheffield United being in and amongst it. Burnley, I don't think we're that bothered, but I feel like we're looking at wrong areas, mate. I think when you look at Sheffield United now, like I say, the captain and one of the best players out for the season. The only 3 weeks ago they lost back-to-back games, which we haven't done yet. They've dropped points today. They've got a red card today, so the main centre-half's out, I think, for 3 games. Sunderland have drawn 5 in a row. They're struggling now to maintain their winning run, right? I think we've been looking at the wrong place. I think Leeds will be front and centre. Even if we were to draw, because they've drawn, it ain't going to matter too much. We will, whether we draw tomorrow and win Wednesday, we're still going to start to create that gap. But it's Middlesbrough who are really, really.
That was so mean today, wasn't it? I know it's only Oxford, but
really, I tell you what though, that's like Bielsa football. That's 6-2.
Yeah,
how good's that? Like, how many times do we say we bought in 1-0s and 2-0s, which we'll take by the way? And I'm not moaning about it, but. They're getting the value for money. They conceded 2, but they went and scored fucking 6.
I'm worrying about that Middlesbrough game because we have a tough game against Derby at home on the Saturday, and then I think it's the Wednesday. Then we have Middlesbrough. Like I think that's going to be a really, really tough game, lads. So I think they're probably going to be up there. We're probably one of the best sides we're going to face because the football that they've been playing, Luke Ayling coming back, and look what they done to us in the cup as well. So
I think
that's over the next couple of games. That's the one I kind of look at. That I'm a little bit worried about that one.
Yeah, big time. They could go up them, I know recency bias, they're flying at minute, and I'm looking at I didn't call this maybe a month ago. But when you look at him, I mean, we've always known Carrick's a good manager and he gets them playing good football. Same what we say about a lot of teams, they haven't got the depth. I looked at their 11 today, and I don't profess to know much about Championship players, but they have no one jumps out. Ayling starts for him. We didn't even want him playing for Leeds last season, which I think he could have done the job. His legs were gone. They clearly aren't because he's banging assists for them.
Yeah,
but when you look,
that was a heartbreaking one. That one.
Yeah, it was, mate. And how happy are you for him? Hopefully it's not at the jeopardy of Leeds United, which I don't think it will be. But fair play to him. He's playing, he's captain, and he's playing for a side that are going for promotion. Happy days, Luke Ayling. Fair play.
But even Millwall, mate, I think over the course of the season Millwall will fall away, but that was a great result for them again. Like that drawing at home to Sunderland. They've obviously bet us home. They're thereabouts. They seem to be coming into their own as well. So it's there's a lot of teams kind of piling up now behind us, but I know Leeds Tribe said it there that like when the doors open we don't tend to walk through it. I think it's I feel like it's different this season, and again I might just be being naive and putting my Leeds hat on. But I just feel tomorrow, I do think we do get the win. I do think what you said might be 1 or 2-0. I do think it'll be a tight game. There'll be very few chances. I just hope we do get the win. And then I just think we push on from here. I don't see any other side kind of catching. I think our luck is kind of turned to start the season. We had kind of very bad luck and things were against us. I do feel like it's starting to turn now. We have these players coming back, the Ramazanis, your Ampadios. It's just, again, it might be just being ultra positive and the lead to on. But I just do see, we've all kind of said it, that you can see us going on a run. And I do think that run is going to come now. And especially with these players coming back on, I do think we'll be front and centre.
There's only us, isn't there, lads, who can blow the door off the hinges. Like I said, we can open that door and we might not walk through it, but I'm looking round and nobody else is going to fucking walk through it either. That's where I am. Last season, they were all trying to get through. We were battling it with so many top sides, with top players. This season, they ain't going to. There's only going to be one team that can go front and centre and take a decent lead, and that will be Leeds United. If we don't do that, it's because like we said before, we beat ourselves. Leeds are the only team that can stop Leeds doing well this season. But I think even with these moments, even if Leeds do a Leedsy thing, we're still going to be in the mix. Maybe even still at the head of the curve. You know what I mean? But it might just be tighter than we all think. If we get it right, we should create a gap and have a comfortable end to the season for me. But Leedsy thing, we don't tend to do. And if not, it'll be tight, but I do think we've got enough anyway. Yeah,
same. And it's a massive run from now right up to March. Like we said, right up to the next international break. It's going to be thick and fast, especially around that Christmas period, New Year. It's mental. January, we can obviously have a look at it then if there is kind of any injuries or maybe a chance to kind of fill a gap where we feel like we're missing out. I do think we have to do it. It remains to be seen. Like if we kind of have Ampadu back there, we keep the other two boys fit, and when everything's all good in January, no problem at all. But if we do kind of get one, like God forbid, a Rottweiler or Tanaka, then kind of out a little bit kind of long term, maybe have a look there, see what we can do. I'd love us to get number 10, like James McAtee, like someone like that. Like we said, kind of Premier League level, that's kind of down the ranks. It's not getting minutes. That like what you said, he's sitting on their bench, he's not getting game time. Even if he does come to us and sit on our bench, he's likely to get more minutes, in that number 10 role than what he would. For instance, like a James McAtee, if he could get someone like him, I think that would be a real shrewd sign, and it might just give us that little bit. I just don't want us to rest, especially the turn of the year in January. It's full tilt right to March. We obviously have the international break then in March, and then after that, then it's full tilt to the end of the season. So,
how do you feel about Aronson with the side? I mean, I know he's played well, but not really going on how he's played. But do you think the club sort of just reluctantly had to go with him because they missed out on Roland Salai and other targets? And now, do you think that's why they're looking in January potentially for a 10? Do you feel like he's just filling a gap at the minute, even though he's doing well?
So, mate.
You reckon in your opinion, do you think that's what he's doing?
Yeah, I think so, mate. I do think so. Yeah, I think because obviously the loan spell that he had at Union Berlin obviously wasn't a great one. I think he only had one goal over the course of the season. Not great. He's now look at, if we're into something, we have to give him his flowers, lads. He came back here and we didn't know what was going to happen. A lot of us going to say, nah, he is going to change championship level. He's dropped down. He is a quality player. Others saying, no, he's going to get bullied in the championship. We've seen him in the Premier League. He's Risley Piper, stuff like that. So in fairness, and give him his flowers. He is doing it at a good level, and he has. You know, he's been scoring goals. His tenacity, his work rate is absolutely quality. You can't knock him for that whatsoever. I just don't think he really kind of has the quality. And again, it's another conversation. If we go up to the Premier League, is Brendan Aronson going to be your number 10? I don't think so. Is he going to play on the wings for you? I don't think so. Not really blistering pace, not really kind of great quality. So, yeah, very kind of harsh to say, Matty, but I do think it is kind of just plugging a hole at the minute. And he's doing it at a really, really good level. It's fine for the championship. It's great. But I think with Fark, he is very ambitious. He is an ambitious manager. And I do think he probably will want someone that's an actual number 10, and we've seen it after we didn't sign Hamer. After he was very vocal, lads. After the window closed, I really do think he wanted a 10. The club obviously decided not to do it. They obviously felt we had enough there, like what we spoke about, Aronson, Nanto, Solomon, to do a job in there. They probably said, "Did we really need it, Daniel? Look, let's kind of see how we go with this, and then in January we'll have a look." I do think he'll probably be pushing again for a number 10, and the rumours are coming around already. But yeah, I don't want to see us sitting our hands. I don't want us to look back in April, May, and we've 1 or 2 injuries, and Aronson's form kind of drops off, and look, maybe we should have just went in January and had a McAtee on loan, just things like that. I don't want us to leave any kind of doors open. I want us to just make sure that we do our job and not rest on our laurels. You know what I mean?
100%. I'll tell you what, lads, as well. I'll have to make sure you've got my pal Priestley's phone number for January, because next time he gives us a tip, we'll have to go live before everybody else does.
Yeah.
At Gillavogie, we stood at pub and Gillavogie's side, and no one else has met. And we're looking at each other like, "Do we do it?" We bottled it. Next morning, we went up. I know.
Everyone was all out. We should have done it. We should have done it. We had it.
We did. We had it.
We had the exclusive, but we'll be getting our sources off you through Priestley now. So
we'll have to, won't we? We'll have to.
Yeah, we'll have to. Yeah. Yeah, and else added for tomorrow, Dillo. You want else to touch on?
Oh, we're going up.
That's what Dillo just keeps saying. Yeah, we're going up.
We're going into. I think it's going to be such a not an ever-end game where it's just up and down the pitch. I just think we'll control the ball a lot more than they will, and they'll frustrate us again, usual. But I can't see them getting any good, clean, cut chances. No. I think we'd be very solid at the back. I can't see them getting a goal. I'm gonna go with Matty on this. I can see it probably being a 2-0 win, if I'm being honest.
I can consider the quality game not being high, because I do think obviously it always kind of is the same after every game after the international break. You can always see it's kind of very kind of slow and kind of loud. But I do think it would be like not a cagey kind of game, but I don't think there'd be kind of much quality drama. I think it'd be played a lot in the middle of the park. I don't think there's going to be too much chances. I'd say they'd be leggy, we'd be leggy, but we should more than have enough lads. I just do think 1 or 2 chances win. I can't see there being an awful lot of chances tomorrow. We'll probably dominate the play like that 70-80%. I can't see them getting much. I hope it's not 70-80% and then they hit us on the break. Do you know what I mean? I don't want to see a game like that tomorrow, but we need to grab it. We've been given an opportunity today with the teams around us slipping up. We're given the opportunity to go top tomorrow, and that Fark has to be banging that drum first thing tomorrow morning in them players' ears. We're going top today, and when we go top, we're staying top. He needs to be drilling, because we have to be ruthless now, lads. We really do. We can't afford to go down to Swansea, bit laboured and kind of let them get on top of us. We need to quieten them down straight away, control the play, and just let our quality show through. Take 3 points and just keep pushing on, just keep being ruthless, move into Wednesday. That's the way Leeds need to be now. For me, it needs to be just being machine. Where's the next one? And move forward. We can't be timid.
It's starting to creep in now, isn't it, with these away performances? Like say, if we've got 4 now without a win, we can't let that go to 5 and 6 and need to just nip it in bud now. Like I say, nip it in bud, win that game, go top at league, Lewin at home. Start to create that gap, The more they don't win away from home against some average sides, really average sides in there. I put Millwall at that, and I know a lot will disagree, but your Bristols, and if this is another one we don't get 3 points in, these are games.
Becomes a worry then, doesn't it? The away games.
These should be your bread and butter. I know they're away from home, and I know we'll win most of his own games, but there has to be so many games away from home.
You still need to win these games away from home. Yeah, Bristol was a big one. I do think. Against the likes of Millwall, it's not a massive shock that you lose games like that. But again, the likes of Bristol City, we have to be picking up 3 points there. Tomorrow against Swansea, we have to be picking up 3 points there. Like you said, we can't let it become an issue And it is kind of nearly there that it is an issue, the away form. We need to start now the away games, picking up 3 points like that, being ruthless. Because I think at Ellen Road, look, I know Burnley bet us there, and obviously Middlesbrough in the Cup, but I do think at Ellen Road, I'm very confident any team that comes to Ellen Road this season, I'm more than comfortable thinking that we should be well able to beat them, but we definitely need that away form to pick up big time. What do you think, Dylan?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Sorry, it's as Matty said there, you want to nip this in the bud as quick as possible. But it's kind of the games that are coming up, and getting the injuries sorted out. That it could be a sort of thing where the away games could start kind of creeping in a bit more. So I agree with Matty. It needs to be nipped in the bud as quick as possible. But as far as tomorrow, I can see a win. And hopefully we don't pick any injuries up tomorrow. Hopefully everyone's on form. And for Piero to score hat-trick.
Well, Rodon still on the yellow, lads, isn't he? I think, isn't it 19 games? I think we found out. So he's doing very well, lads. I wanted to touch on that before we started. I said I must touch on because he's doing, for someone who's been on the border of the discipline now for so long, he's doing really, really well. But it's still a good bit to go. What's it, 16 games tomorrow? So he still has another 3 games to kind of see it over the line. So yeah, like if he picks up a yellow tomorrow, then midweek, then who do you think comes in there? Do you think because Volber's played the 90 minutes against Austria, do you think Volber comes back in? I know he was kind of saying he had a little reaction in the knee, but he thinks he's going to be okay. He thinks he's going to make the squad. Do you kind of see that if he does kind of come out, do you think Volber will come in?
He'd have to, wouldn't he? It'd be a brave bold to say move to not give an Austrian international that slot and give it to Gilavogi, who's only been here a few weeks. But I would give it to Gilavogi, to be honest. Unless we're absolutely scandalous with injuries in that position, I don't want to see Volber touch grass. Me, if I'm honest, I'm not. I know it might be injured and all that, but I can't be having it where you're injured. As soon as international break comes, you fuck off and you play for them and you come back to Leeds. I can't be arsed of it now. It's very much like Bamford. When we need you, if you're not available, then piss off. So for me, I'm losing it with Volber. I'll be honest with you.
Do you think he goes in January, Matty? Do you think he forces a move in January? I
do now. I said we won't do now in January unless people go. I expect Geldat to go on loan, and I expect Volber to go probably on loan with an obligation at the end of the season. I do think he'll have suitors in Europe. Germany,
yeah, he will.
He'll have suitors. Austrian international. They're no mugs. He's obviously, he's obviously decent to a certain level. But if I'm honest, he had that really good run in Premier League where I think he played like first 8 games, but didn't concede. There was some when he played, he conceded goals. And I remember that, even though we were in a poor side, and he seemed to elevate that defense. Since that, whenever he's played, he looks like he can't. I don't know if it's because I'm comparing him to Joe Roden, who's really quick for the centre half.
He's slow, isn't he? He's very, very slow.
I can't rate him at all, lads.
That Middlesbrough game, lads, and I think it's probably unfortunate because he was really, really poor in that Middlesbrough game. I thought he had an absolute stinker in that Middlesbrough game. Horrendous for someone if you compare him to Brendan Aronson, 2 totally different positions, but very similar situations. Aronson came in and took the bull by the horns and said, I'm here to prove a point here. Now the fans are hating on me, they're booing me. But it was like Volber went completely the other way, just like seemed to me crumbled under pressure, didn't really kind of care. I know the game was kind of home and house, but he was very poor against Middlesbrough, and then he obviously gets the injury. So that's the last game that he played before he went and got the injury. So that's kind of in my head. Do you know what I mean? The last time he did play for Leeds, he had an absolute stinker. So it's hard to kind of see beyond that. But yeah.
But he's never going to play a run of games, is he, Darren? He's never going to play.
I don't see it though, mate. But like if he does go in January, then I do feel we do need to go and get cover. I know we've Gilavogi there, but we do need a cover in centre half. So our Leeds going to look at that both sides, right? Look, we're going to lose an Australian international, and then we're trying to cover them. Are they going to do that? Do you know what I mean? Are they going to say, will they turn around and go, no, you're here till the end of the season, we're not letting you go? But then do you want that then, the player that's already forced to move out here, but said last season he was staying and then he pissed off, and now he's back here again? If he's going to do the same thing, little like the Nanto situation, like, does Farke double down and go, no, you're going absolutely nowhere, you can stay and play with the 21s until I need you, or you can't piss off? But then Leeds then do need
he just doesn't want to be here. That's it's simple.
Yeah, he's
proven that. He's definitely proven that as well, and then like he's injured all the time as well, but he was to say that he is even injured.
Right? It's currently next in line. If we got an injury and he's
literally what Leeds tribes at, that's what I was thinking.
If we have an injury now, Volber comes in, right? If he's fit, you'd say, right, or Gilavogi, but say Volber comes in if Strout were injured, right? Telling you now, he's only 3rd choice centre half now because Ampadu's out. If Ampadu's fit, right, and we get an injury, Volber's watching Ampadu, a centre midfielder, come on to play centre half. So he's then 4th choice centre back, which will piss him off anyway. But guaranteed, he's only 3rd choice now because Ampadu's out. Ampadu is the next in line for the centre half spot when fit over Volber. And I'm sure you agree with that, 100%.
Yeah, 100% agree. Yeah, definitely agree with that. Yeah, again, it's going to be another interesting one to Tony here. What's going to happen with Max Farber? I think we're all probably thinking that he will force a move. That I wouldn't be surprised the day that opens up, it probably breaks news that Farber's handed in transfer request, or trying to force a move out of Leeds, or you'll see it straight away. And I wouldn't be surprised to see him go. But again, I don't want to see him go out the door and then the board being like, well, no, we should be okay because we have Ampadu coming back in. He can do a job there, and Gilavogi can do a job there. I don't want to see that. You know what I mean? I want us to be ambitious and say, no, we're not going to leave anything here. We're going to make sure that we do see us over the line, that we do get a centre half in to a significant level, and yet hope someone that's going to come in and not just be like a backup, someone that's going to try and push Road on a strike and say, no, we do want to come into the starting line.
Like
you need everyone pushing in the one direction. You can't have one or two going, yeah, we can take the foot off the gas, or no, I'm not going to play games. Because Joe Rotwell could have done that, lads. He could have said, yeah, I'm coming in alone, Spain. I know I'm third or fourth. He didn't. He, again, another one took the bull by the horn. So it's unbelievable to see. There's things like that I don't think we give them players enough credit for, especially the likes of Aronson, especially the likes of Rotwell, because a lot of them could have rested on the laurels and said, yeah, I'm just here to do X job. Same thing with Gilavogi as well. He was kind of brought in, maybe we might need you at some stage, and when we do, can you come in and do a job? We can see what he's done when he has come on, and like that, if he does start midweek and Wednesday, I wouldn't be like, oh, what are we starting him for? I would say that, yeah, give him a go. Like, if it was a week, like if he was to start on Saturday, it'd be a little bit like, what's going on here? But Wednesday, yeah, I just think that whatever Fark is doing in the background, they're all pushing in the one direction, and it's a lot better, a better rounded squad this season. We touched on Kamara. I seen Ireland playing against Finland, and I just watched Kamara because the football was obviously absolutely dire, but I just sat and just watched Kamara. And I just think because he was Leeds last season, we probably had the blinkers on, especially when he left. A lot of like, oh, we're getting rid of a Finnish international, and why we letting him go? He was our best passer of the ball next Wednesday. But lads, he was like average as that, side to side, backwards passing, no real penetration. He 3 or 4 chances as well outside the box where he could have had a shot. And against Ireland, they're shooting every day of the week. He didn't. He was still passing it off. But what an upgrade that was, lads, to get. What did we get? 10 million from it? What did we buy him for? 8, sold him for 10, or we bought him for 5 and sold him for 10 or something like that. And
something like that, yeah.
Bring Tanaka in then for what, 3.5 million. Like, what an upgrade that is. But I do feel the whole lot, lads, the whole squad is just, it's so rounded. We've obviously lost some great players, Gray, Somerville, Rutter. But look at it, I've yet to feel, maybe Rutter sometimes in the 10 is probably the only one we missed for me anyway.
Yeah, I have to agree. I think going back to the Aronson situation, I think they need to go in January and get a 10, definitely. Because I think last season Rutter really was that kind of main man, that main vocal, even though Somerville was baiting in goals left, right and centre. But I think if you had the quality of Rutter or a similar kind of build and attribute player to Rutter, I think we'd be banging in goals even that little bit more. But there's no issues with Aronson for me, I think he still has another few goals before I kind of let him away with what he done. But I think in January we need to go get a 10.
It'd be nice to have like a real flair player playing there, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Like you say, a Pablo, a Rutter, somebody,
Buendia, someone like that. Just
And that's the kind of player Farker likes in his 10. At a minute, he's got just like an industrious, hard-working player who'll come up with a couple of goals and assists, and he'll do a job in this division. But like you say, he definitely wants more of a Buendia, a more creative player, someone who can shoot from outside box and someone who can lay it on a plate for Pirro. At the minute, Aronson probably ain't got that in his game, but he's got a hell of a lot. He's a decent cog in our engine, and he's a vital part right now. But it would be nice to have a different profile in that 10. Like you say, Willie Nonto probably is that player, but whether he plays there or not, it would be nice to get another option in there. I just feel like that side at the minute, Meslier is not being pushed, and I feel like that the defenders are sort of guaranteed. I don't think there's as much depth in defence, I'm sure you'd agree, as there is everywhere else on pitch. I feel like the back five are pretty not really being pushed in terms of if you have a bad couple of games, you're probably still keeping your shirt because you're in behind that. The rest,
we've seen that with Rodon, mate. We've seen that Rodon had a couple of bad games, and he was still able to keep his spot. So
he had to play through it because there were no options.
But
the rest of the side, mate, there's I mean, I don't, like I say, I don't think Farker likes to change it much, but in theory, the depth is there in that midfield and attacking space where they will know they all train together, they're all friends. Like Nonto will know I can't afford to have 3 bad games. Solomon knows, bloody hell, I haven't played well here. Ramazan is back. I need to step it up for these next 2 before he's fit. Rothwell Ampadu's back soon. So for me, that like Joseph, when he must have a bit of anxiety when he's playing, thinking, I can see Pido warming up. He'll be on in 5 minutes. I haven't got another goal. But I want the players to be like that. I want the players to know that the positions are in threat. And I feel like
competition.
Massively, but I feel like we've got
you need it, lads. But that pulls up everyone's game and every walk of life, lads. If you've got someone behind you pushing you, it shows a rocket up your arse because you have to do better. 100%. Where like that, it's like your work. If your boss isn't on you, you're gonna do this. But if your boss is on your arse and then you need to do this, you need that. Of course, you're gonna raise your level. Yep. It's like every walk in life, and you need it. And I think, and we've talked about it so much. You touched on Meslier there, and that's the reason why I think Meslier hasn't improved, Matty. To be honest with you, because he hasn't really got anyone there that's forcing him and saying, I'm taking you out of the squad, I'm taking that number 1 position. And I feel that's the reason why he hasn't been improving. For me, we've spoke about, I think he's declined, his kicking's declined, his handling's declined. No one ever questions his one-on-one. I think his shot stopping is very, very good, but he has howlers in him as well. And that's why I think maybe it's concentration, maybe it's not being pushed enough to kind of up his game, and that's the reason why it dropped. And I do think that was probably a little bit of Rodon. I think Rodon probably had a head on him. I did unbelievable here last year. I know I'm the starting centre half. Leeds wanted me back. I've picked Leeds over Premier League clubs, and he probably did come in with the same sort of feeling that I don't need to push it here, but like that I don't want like less competition in the squad. I don't want to see a Volber go out, even though we don't want him to play. I don't want to see him go out the door and like that. We don't replace him. We're kind of just saying, we have Ampadu to come in, or we've Gilavogi to come in. So yeah, for me, mate, you've hit the nail on the head. Everyone needs to be pushing each other 100%. Same thing with Smith. We need him. We need everyone pushing. Yeah. But I want to touch on here what Fergal Kelly says, because it's something that's probably nagging me a little bit. We haven't heard too much about it. Is obviously Firpo's free to speak to clubs now in January, and he could agree a pre-contract with Betis. That's obviously what's rumoured. What's your kind of thoughts on that? What you feel around that, mate?
It's a strange one really with Firpo, right? Because it's come from being, everyone's last name on the team sheet to being everyone's, right at the top of everyone's.
He was nearly hating, mate. He wasn't. He was getting he was getting to nearly hating.
Now he's got the best song. He's definitely one of his better players now. I mean, when he's on pomp, he's not only a solid left back defensively now. He's so creative up top. We see him play for Dominican Republic, which isn't a great standard, I know, but he can score goals. His assists are through the roof. He's a really good player, but. It comes down to, for me, he knows if he signs for Betis, which, let's be fair, it's either Leeds or Betis for me next season, right? If he signs for Betis, he's their number 3. He's starting at left back, right? 100%. I just feel like it's made for him, right? He knows, even if he romps it rest of the season, which I expect him to do, I expect Leeds to go up, as you know, he could get player of the year. Who knows how good he could be, right, for Leeds. I still think Leeds will go out and buy a player of better quality or equal to Firpo, and Firpo will have to work his ass off to get that starting shirt in a Premier League Leeds United side. Yeah. So it depends how much he wants it. Depends how much he's fallen in love with Leeds. Because for me, he goes back to Spain, comfortable, beautiful weather, starting spot, not being pushed. If he stays at Leeds next season, he's going to be pushed. But for me, that's where, as a professional footballer, you want to be. You want to be challenged. You want to be pushed. You want to be playing the best league in the world, which we can give him. Betis can't give him that. We can. So it depends on his mindset, lads. Honestly, I can't call it. I can't call it.
Dylan, want to go over it?
I'm not going to sleep tonight now thinking about that, if I'm being honest with you.
I don't like it, lads. I don't like the thought of it that he can like that now in January. We should have sorted it by now to find out, are you signing a contract extension? I don't like the thought of it that us as a club are pushing for promotion, and then one of our players is out, agreeing another contract with another club, and then he's here for the rest of the season. And I know everyone might say like that, you want to go out on a high, and he'll want to leave Leeds with his head high, and got promoted and got them back to the Premier League and job done. But I just don't like the thought of that.
I'm telling you now, lads, if he signs a pre-contract with Betis in January, signs it and it becomes common knowledge, I bet he doesn't start for the rest of the season.
That's my thought, mate, as well. It might just be me being Leeds and being a fan, and might probably not live in the real world, but I just want every player that's in this Leeds squad on board 110%. I've talked about it with Bamford as well. I don't feel like he is as well, because he's doing all these podcasts and talking shit about the club and X, Y and Z. I just want everyone to have that one goal. Everyone's pushing each other, and they're just fully focused on getting Leeds United out of this division, not being sidetracked by, I want X amount of wages when I go back to Betis. I want to make sure that I have a house and greed, just stuff like this that's just absolutely needless. That might be a little bit naive of me to say, but that's just my feeling. I want the best for my football club, and I don't want anyone to start agreeing, contracts to move back to another club. So it needs to be earned out in January. What fair post
it's a bit disrespectful, though, isn't it?
That's what I feel. That's what I feel like. Do you know what I mean? And it's I'll tell you what, I just don't like it. I don't like the thought of it.
Look at Fergal's last comment, the one he's just done at the bottom. He should go on a high. He's not a Prem player. That there could be in his thinking as well. He's been in Premier League. He knows how hard it is. He knows that if Leeds go up, it's probably going to be a difficult season. Let's be honest. It's going to be losing most weeks, and we know, it can be a hostile place to play. If his form drops, and he might be questioning himself, am I good enough at Premier League? He knows what it's like when he didn't play well at Premier League. Or he can potentially win a trophy, go down as a bit of a hero, and then go on his way. So honestly, it comes down to his mentality and what he wants to do. But when you want to be,
so I think he'll do well in the Prem.
I think he'll do better, but I don't think.
Oh no, he would. He'd do better, mate. But again, it comes back in. You want the best of the football club, and I don't think he'd be at this significant level, and I don't think he should be our starting left back in the Premier League. Do you know what I mean?
I think
his defending lets him down massively. He gets away with it in the Championship. Going forward, like we said, assists, you get goals from. Very, very good at going forward. But again, it's going the other way, and in the Premier League, you get exposed. Like we know what the wingers are like in the Premier League.
We're not going to be as open, though, are we, Darren? We're not going to be.
We shouldn't be, and that's what I'm saying. Then are you taking from his game, because his game is very much flying left back, getting forward. Then you're taking from his game. Then do you know what I mean? So it's 3 of one, half a dozen of the other. You have to look at it in that way. I don't feel like he's at that level to be a Premier League. Unbelievable for the Championship, and like that, if he does leave here on a high, wins the title, he kind of goes with our best. And like what you said, mate, he goes down as a little bit of a legend. That he's, he was loved, like that great song and stuff like that. He almost goes down to the likes of the Radaby kind of issue. You look back, a very, very fond player, how he turned it around and congrats him. But it's just that thought of being able to talk to another club while the season is still going on, and still 5 months of the season left to go, and you're pushing for promotion. It just doesn't really feel like he's on board. I know it's securing his future and kind of looking ahead, but that's just personally, that's me. I don't like it.
If that's what happens, it needs to be done quietly. We don't need to become common knowledge to public. We just need to not hear it.
But it will leak, though, mate. You know what it's like nowadays. It will leak. Of course it's going to leak, 100%.
The best thing about it is, though, if it is just Betis that are interested, and he's only interested in going to, it's not like there's 4 or 5 sides. It might be quieter because there's only one club linked, if you get what I mean. And because he's played for them before, and we've had a move between us and with Rocker before. Mark Rocker went there. Maybe there'll be a little bit of class, hopefully done behind doors, where it doesn't become common knowledge. Because, like I say, January onwards for Leeds, it's going to be, 2 games, 3 games a week, top at league, hopefully. Try not to let a lead slip. It's going to be important. An important 4 or 5 months, and we can't be. One bad decision can derail.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Club. So they need to be careful how they manage it. And for me, I would have loved them to have sorted this out a few months ago. I mean, he's had a good start at season. Why not lump it down in front of him and get him to sign it before now? Maybe. There's a mutual agreement between them that he ain't going to sign, and that's why it hasn't happened. But I do believe if he signs for another club and he's leaving, I know it's a bit ballsy to say, because Farke needs him in that side to get us up. But if Farke thinks there's value elsewhere, and people like Schmidt maybe, who might be a long-term success at a fair, but maybe, I don't know if that's true. He might play Schmidt there because he's on board. He's there next season. He only wants to improve our play. He don't want to improve another team's player. That's why I think Rothwell comes out for Ampadu. I feel like it's just his way. You're either with us or you're not. So it's a sensitive subject around a sensitive time. So they need to do it well.
I think Leeds Troy was hit the nail on the head. Like as good as he is, like he isn't irreplaceable. I don't think it's the be all and end all if he does go to Betis. But it's like what you said, mate. I think Farke, one thing about him is he does want everyone on board. He has said he wants everyone pushing in the right direction. We've seen him last season with the lone players going out. He wasn't very kind of forceful. It was kind of like when he left him. I think he was asked the question through, like, is he keeping tabs on the like Aronson? He's just like, no, I'm just focused on the players that are here. Like, great like that here. And will he kind of start thinking, right, well, Fairpost, after agreeing a contract with Betis, he's not going to be here next year. Then you've Isaac Smith that's breaking his balls and trying to kind of get into a squad. Exactly what you said, mate. He could be, well, Isaac is like the long-term successor. Then, like we said, we don't know if it is. Obviously, when he came on, he's played in the wing and in the middle of the park. He hasn't really been playing fullback for us yet. So it remains to be seen what kind of happens there. But yeah, I just wanted to touch on that. For me, I don't like the thought of the whole being able to agree a pre-contract and known, he's out the door and he's leaving, and then like that, if he does put in a shit game, then you're gonna have Leeds fans going, oh well, look, he does want to be here. He's after signing a pre-contract. It can come very, very quick, which is where now we don't know about. If he has a bad game tomorrow night, it's just like fair bad off game today. But if it comes to that, where it is common knowledge, we all know he's going at the end of the year, we could get on his back very easy, and then you could see his performance dipping. So like what you said, it's one decision that could derail the whole season, and it's something it might feel like something so minor, but then you could have Smith and Boyram in the background knocking on Daniel Farke's door and going, well, look at boss, I'm committed, I'm here, my future's here for X, Y and Z, I want to play for Leeds. And you know, Junior's one foot out the door. His performance wasn't great on Saturday, so it's all them things, and it can snowball and it can come a big thing. But for me, it should have been sort of way ahead of all this. It should have been at the start of the season. It should have been common knowledge. Look, do you want to go back to bed next season?
Stuff that's getting distracted for the club.
That's it, stupid, just needless stuff. Like again, look at lads, he might be so professional. He might, like what you said, he might come out. He might be so professional and put in a great season for us, goals, assists, and get us promoted. And he leaves with our blessing. But I just think it just leaves that kind of half chance where it could derail us and could, you know, cause a little bit of trouble in the dressing room when you know he's kind of 1 foot out the door, you know.
100%.
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah, I think. Anything else to touch on, lads?
No, can I just say that that video you had with Mike the other day was absolutely phenomenal. Loved
class,
it.
man.
I watched it twice. I watched it live, then I watched it back again just to make sure I didn't, didn't miss any.
There's a lot in it, wasn't it?
Honestly, what a guy, and you have to get him on again. But you have to get him on a final pint one night with us.
You'll have to get him on a final point. Yeah, I know.
What a guy, mate! What a guy!
He was just you could just listen to him all day, couldn't you? Look, even when we went off air, and we still had a chat after, and we were like, Mick, we could just talk to you forever. And some of the stories that he has, that was just not even the tip of the iceberg. Some of the stuff that he's done, he obviously told you in the music, some of the stories he was telling me about Bobby Collins and Bremner and the lads playing bingo and stuff like that. It was just, it's unbelievable insight to have and the knowledge that he has. But yeah,
honestly, watching your faces when he were talking, like you were loving, but
I didn't talk.
Dillo especially, right? When he was talking, right, you had love hearts in your eyes, Dillo. You were honestly, you were.
I was loving it.
It was unreal, but you
I know, like. I said it down. I don't really want to do this tonight. I was happy just to sit and watch it.
No, you know what it is, right? It's a strange one because he's just a normal guy, and he's quite he's really humble and embarrassed of like you call him a legend and stuff. But it's like when you watch him talking, the way he makes you feel when you listen, it's like he played forever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It feels like you've got a legend there who played forever, and it's just nice because he sort of came into supporting him around the time, like you say, around those early 70s when we were just turning that corner and becoming a top side. And he's seen everything. He's seen being the best country and the best team in the world. He's seen, League One days, and he's seen us hopefully now go back to Premier. He's seen it all, and
it's just even the dips. Like initially, like we were obviously well used to it in our time of loads of ups and downs. But I think that initial kind of dip in the 80s would have been very, very hard to take. And look, when I compared it to like the city of it nowadays, if you could try and compare it to the younger kind of generation, is that Leeds were like top of the tree, the most feared in the country, across Europe, everything. And then you see this decline, and then all these legends, Alan Clark, Gray, Bremner, all coming in trying to save the club, trying to get them back to where they are, and then they go down. And that's what that first initial kind of down for the football club must have been so hard for Mick, especially, living over in Leeds at the time, all through the 70s, absolutely loving it, world win, like. And then he comes back to Ireland, his kids are being born, obviously makes the right decision that, he wants to go back to Ireland, but then he starts travelling off to Leeds, every second week to go to all the home games through the 80s. Leeds are getting walloped, and his two boys are looking at him going, Dad, what are you doing supporting these? So one goes Blackburn, one goes Liverpool, obviously winning it around that time, and like it's class, and like that, you just talking about, but look what he said, even apart from Leeds, you meet him in the airport, and the first thing he turns around and says, like, how's the family, how's the kids, everything going all right, how's the job, you keep him well, he's just a genuine guy. And then he'll get into Leeds, and you could talk to him for an hour. Sure, the last time when we travelled over to the Sheffield United game, we nearly missed the flight because we ended up getting another point, and he was just talking, and it was just one of them where you almost actually don't even care about the flight because I could just sit here and just talk to Mick for the night. But
I'd start wrecking his head, I'd start following him and all.
Yeah,
going to the toilets. Where are you going to? Just going to chow.
Honestly,
when slash man.
When he said about it, when he was like, "Oh, Paddy's used to move over to Leeds for work, but I just moved to follow the team." I mean, who moves to another country to follow an actual sport team?
But fair play to even his wife. To do that. I said that to my missus the other day. She can have your hands.
That's what I wanted to touch on. I said it to Amy as well. I was just like, look at him. She was like, well, do you want to move to Leeds then? I was just like, yeah, come on. Oh yeah, look at you said, like, you'd love to be, like, what you want to be. And it's even just still, like what gets me the most out of, like, between all the stories and everything that he's lived through, lads, it's like, the support, I think it's 60 years, 57 years, I think altogether he's gone into his 58th year now supporting Leeds. But they still have the passion, lads. I mean, you've seen him in the video, but even in person, like this, he still talks about Leeds like it's his first season, and like that, he told me, like, it doesn't get all gone out to Ellen Road, and we've touched on it, mighty, that it's still the same feeling. Like, we're obviously going, you go a lot, like week in, week out, exactly like we did. But he said he still gets the same feeling. He gets the butterflies when he turns that corner and sees Ellen Road open up in front of him. That it doesn't change him. It's still that feeling. Then butterflies, like he's seeing it for the first time, and that's for me. That's what I want to get to. I never want to, take it for granted going up to Leeds or going down to Ellen Road. Like, it's just another game. Do you know what I mean? And that's what I just love him. And I said, if you cut him, he just played blue, yellow, and white. He just absolutely loves the football club and like everything that even become friends like. With one of his heroes like that, Peter Lonamore, down to his wedding, he became very good friends with Johnny Giles and stuff like that. It's crazy, absolutely crazy to think. And then even the league one days, I know he was very, very supportive of the football club around the league one day. Is that really, really bad period administration? A lot of kind of fundraising and stuff like that he was doing for the club, and still trying to get fans to go across and like support the club in that way. And yeah, just unbelievable. Like you'd nearly call him a super fan, but yeah, I thought it was, and like that. I think I've watched it 4 or 5 times as well. You could just listen to him for days. But he rang me after and he was like, did everything go okay? I didn't say anything like all the time. Was he? It was like, Mick, you did more than okay. It's unbelievable. Some of the messages that we got, like that, when I even announced that Mick was on, my Facebook was just hockeyed out boy, Irish Leeds fans that knew Mick for years and, saying that they're looking forward to it. They can't wait to see it. And then even after, like, great show. And like what you've been saying, get him back on. And we did touch on it. I said, would you come back on again? And he was like, yeah, look, give us a show anytime. And, unbelievable. Pure quality.
Just a gent. It's just pure gentleman.
So, are we going to do a quick score prediction, seeing as how we didn't do it on the final pan because it was weeks before we played Swansea? So,
yeah, true. Actually, yeah.
I've said 2-0.
I'm going to go with you, mate.
2-0.
2-0.
What do you think?
I was going 1-0.
Oh yeah, no, I was going to say 2, but I'll go 1. Just to change it up. I'm going to go 1-0.
What's Danny saying? He normally gets it right.
Well, I say 2-1.
Oh, 1, yeah. Go with it. What do you think? Oh, Danny's there. Could be asleep.
Yeah, or I'll go with Danny. I say 2-1.
2-1.
Did he say 2-1, did he?
Yeah, 2-1. Like, just popped up now, 2-1. Piro and Rodon.
Oh, did it? Probably Piro and Rodon, yeah.
If Rodon scores, mate, I need lottery numbers.
Yeah, definitely. Do you know what? We could go through
and James.
Dan James to get one as well. Often thought about moving on myself, but definitely too late with the family settled. Oh, no, yeah. My father's uncle moved to Leeds from Galway in the 60s, and that's when my dad started supporting him. I like that. I love all them little stories, like how how to come out. And I think especially like yourself, Matty, being from Leeds, it's almost like you do support Leeds, but or like also Irish, like it's somewhere like your granddad supported Leeds, and it's kind of it was passed down like that. My granddad was Leeds, like even before the 70s. My granddad was like Leeds, like late 60s. Don't ask me how it came about, but he was Leeds and he was betting to me dad, and my dad obviously had all the 70s, and then it was passed down to me. No chance at all I was going to support anyone else. My dad telling me like, no, you're Leeds and that's it. It was Leeds jerseys and that was it. And I'm just saying, my young lads, but it just picks you, doesn't it? It's not like what Mick said when he went to see that match. Yeah, Dylan could have went the other way. He was swaying because obviously Dylan's dad was he used to be Scum, wasn't he? But he doesn't really support anyone anymore. Not a big kind of football fan, but if he picked anyone was Scum, so Dylan was kind of on the edge. But then he'd no choice. Then when we brought him over to Leeds, and that was it. He had it.
You didn't, darn. You bet it on me.
Are you guys
good to have you in?
Are you guys over for Derby game then, or do you not know?
Probably not the Derby game. We're actually going. Have you heard of the Guinness Storehouse here in Dublin?
Yeah, I've been
going for that. Yeah, so we're going there on the 7th. But I'm looking at the Oxford game. I think it's a 3:00 kickoff. And
when's that?
That's the 21st. So literally just before Christmas. But flights are actually decent, only £100. I think the flight is in at the flights are in at like 7 that morning, and then the flight home then is like 11 that night. So that would kind of be especially around Christmas, that might be the perfect, just in and out of the day, not messing around my hotel. So yeah, looking at going over.
Right. Well, if you're stuck for airport, mate, I'm always here.
Love it. Yeah, so that's the one we're going to pick up on. Would have loved to do the double with Derby Middlesbrough, but like that when it came to then it came to Christmas and stuff like that.
You got me excited with that one. A bit more. I'll tell you what, lads, I'm devastated. So we're doing a stream. Was it Thursday night? Yeah, I think Thursday night. And Billy, South Stand Cam, he popped up in chats and went, Matty, ring me as soon as you get off live. I've got a Blackburn ticket for you, right? So literally we're giving me a Blackburn ticket for away game, and I'm absolutely gutted, mate. I've worked, I think, 2 Saturdays all year, and I've been offered really good money to work. I've got to drive to Luton and do a job on that Saturday.
Yeah.
So I asked the gaff, I said, at least playing at home that day. He says, no, they're away at Blackburn. Sound, yeah, I'll do it. I'll watch it on my phone, whatever. And I've got to do that job now. And then I've been offered a Blackburn ticket. So I'm absolutely devastated. Could you imagine Blackburn away, 7-5? I've only ever been at one away game in my life, and I've had to turn it down. I'm absolutely devastated.
Would have loved to do Blackburn. Would have loved.
7, mate, we've got a full stand.
Yeah, that would have been. Yeah.
Unreal. It's like a fucking
feel
home
sorry
game.
for him. Actually, feel sorry for him.
You know when you just wish he wouldn't have asked. I was like, please. But yeah, apparently he said he'll try and get me some more in future. But yeah, I'm gutted with that. That'd have been unreal. But yeah,
it's going to be like a 3 or 4-0 win to Leeds. You know that, don't you?
It's gonna,
it's going to be quality. Yeah.
I'd quit my job after it.
Everyone will be like, that was the best away day they were ever at. No.
Melier hat trick. I'm like, oh no.
I either wouldn't go to work on the Monday, or I'd be sacked. One or the other, or quit.
Yeah, I was texting my boss at half time like, you bastard.
Cheers, Danny. Love that. Yeah, stick the kettle on. We'll pop over.
Bring the batter sausages.
When the lads need now, so we're 3 generations. I love that, lads. That's what gets me. See stuff like that. I just love it, lads. To know that you're passing it down to the next generation. It has to be done. Right, boys. I think we leave it there. Anything else there before we wrap it up?
No, I'm going to get some food, and he's going to get the 3 points. Come on.
Love it. Yeah, guys. Thanks for everyone for tuning in. Don't forget to smash a like on the video before you leave, and don't forget to hit subscribe on the channel. We're very close. We're pushing up to 400 now, so we'd love to get there soon enough. And don't forget to check out Matty from Imagine Not Being Late. Some really good content over there. As always, Matty's a pure gent and has helped us out along the way, so don't forget to pop across and hit the subscribe button and show the love over there. Yeah, guys, thanks for tuning in. We'll chat you all again soon. We will be back tomorrow after the game for an instant match reaction, hopefully with smiley faces on us and 3 points in our back pocket. So yeah, we'll chat you all then soon. Have a good one.
Peace.